Sorcerer is my favorite class in D&D, and my favorite subclass to play is Wild Magic Sorcerer. Though, there is a problem I have with it. I just don't like the way that it's worded. It feels inconsistent. If you don't know, Wild Magic allows you to Wild Magic Surge, which is the fun part where you get to roll on a table to have some random effect. It reads specifically, the DM can have you roll a d20 immediately after you cast a sorcery spell of first level or higher. If you roll a 1, roll on the Wild Magic Surge table. See, the problem is rules as written, whenever the DM tells you to roll on Wild Magic, you don't always surge. So on a whim, you have a 5% chance to Wild Magic Surge, which is the fun part. I don't really like this because if your DM forgets to tell you to roll, then you might never surge. This one time, my DM did remember to ask me to roll for Wild Magic, but he thought that it would go directly towards the table, and rules as written, that's not how it works. But I think the way it is written in the book is just the formal textbook way of saying homebrew it yourself. And so let's do that. Let's come up with some ways to get rid of that sort of whim idea. Solution 1, always roll. Instead of on a whim, whenever your DM feels like it or remembers, just every time you cast a spell first level or higher, you get that 5% chance to surge on every spell. This one's the easiest solution and will result in the most Wild Magic surges. It requires no extra bookkeeping, just roll after you cast the spell. Solution 2, metamagic. All sorcerers have metamagic, the ability to alter and enhance magic with sorcery points. When you do so for a spell, roll for Wild Magic. This one doesn't happen as often as the last one, and doesn't really require too much bookkeeping, but it is a way to do it without having to ask your DM if they feel like it this time. And it makes a lot of sense as, it's tied directly with your magic and your sorcery ability. And solution 3, curse. Lacking control of your magic can be seen as a curse that grows in strength over time. It is mostly up to your DM, but the way I ran a cursed sorcerer was I started at 1 out of 20, and every time I cast a spell I would roll. At the end of every session, the curse would increase by 1, increasing the odds of the Wild Magic Surge. So if it was like 5 out of 20, if I rolled a 5 or lower when I rolled for Wild Magic, then it would surge. And during any long rest, I could cut down my curse back down to 1. My character had horns, which were like the magic source of his wild magic, so I could just chop them off. Now this one is the most vague, and frankly, you could do this any number of ways, and there's definitely more solutions than the 3 I've put in this video, so get creative. There's just one more thing I want to talk about. The ability Tides of Chaos sort of throws a wrench into all of this. It allows you to take advantage to one roll, and after, the DM can force you to surge after you cast any spell. Well, that doesn't work with our new rules, because again, that requires a whim. Like, take the first solution. Do we just say that after you gain advantage, you immediately surge? I don't think so. For this, you could have your own solutions, such as soon as you gain advantage, you immediately surge and you get whatever effect the surge does, and it only does it once. You could also just hand wave the downside, because this ability is pretty weak to begin with, so you could completely ignore it, or just do whatever you want. Long story short, I don't particularly like the way this is worded. It feels vague, your DM could forget. I feel like you need to create your own system in order for this to feel consistent. It is wild magic, and the whole point is that it's random equals fun, so creating a system kind of contradicts that, but I just don't like the whole whim on a whim of your DM. I guess that I know it makes sense, but still.